All right, here we are. The next step, which is mocking the K24, the K-swap up. I chose the K24 just because that's what everybody kind of would want to do. More torque, more power. The K24 is readily available. It comes in the Accord, the CRV, the TSX, the Element. So they're almost everywhere. So first thing I did here was I started to pull the harness. I just have this one part that goes in the cabin. I don't feel like going in the cabin, opening the door and calling up. So I'm just going to swing the harness up this way, or I'm going to swing it back down that way out of the way. So I'll just move that out of the way. This is an RSX Type S mount that actually just angles it a little this way. The other mounts kind of angle the motor this way. So DC5 Creations was nice enough to tell me that he would start with a RSX Type S mount here, and he would start with the EK style K-swap mount there, which is this one. So I'm going to take his advice on that because he's in the middle of doing a K-swap on an EVO 8. So we'll try that mount there, that mount there. There's different versions of the K-swap mount here. I mean, from, there's the EK one. I mean, there's so many other ones. The EG one. Over here, we can use an EG one. We can use an EK one. But we chose the RSX one because we're going off DC5 Creations advice. And then we got the junkyard all-wheel drivetrains here that I picked up, a month ago. So that'll go in as the mock-up. And then in my engine room, I just have like a BS motor right here. This is a K24. This is a CRV K24, so it's kind of the same as like the TSX. So, and the Element and all the other K24. So we'll grab that K24. We'll just bolt it up to the all-wheel drive trans that we have here, and then we'll basically have a K-swap that's ready to go in. And that already has the T-case on it. So that'll be able to point down and give me an idea of how the drive shaft will be. So that'll be the first move, is figuring out the mounts and getting a motor placed in here. Then we can worry about the axles and all that later. The harness, I have no worries about the harness. I can get the harness to work. Axles, I'm sure there's going to be something for axles, so that's no biggie. Shifter cables and shifter, there's a hole there for the EVO cables. So the RSX style shifter box and cables will go through there. So besides that, it don't look too bad. Let's get the motor put together on a cart and mocked up in here and see how it fits. All right, so let me get under here. So this mount, the EK bracket, fits really tight in here. Like, this is almost meant like it's fitting like it's meant to be, is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's tight, everything looks good. This side, the RSX mount, I have a lot of wiggle room. So once I get the engine mocked up in here, I'll figure out if it needs to go to the right, to the left, in the center, and then I can decide whether to put spaces here or remake these bushings or whatnot. That'd be like the next move. But for now, at least, I know that I have this playroom here, which is great, because then I can literally, center it and align it how I want it, So that's going to be good here. This kind of have no option. Wherever this is going to sit, this is going to determine how it's going to swing, like the way this mount sits, it's going to determine if it's going this way or this way. And then this can kind of move around to adjust that and perfect it. So let's get the mock-up motor on the cart and see how it's going to play. Man, no cap. That just looks like it. That just looks like it's home. I'm going to slowly bring it down and line it up. But man, it literally, let me move this back a little bit. Literally looks like it's home. Right about there. Like, no, man, that looks like it's at home, man. K-swap the world. I need two hands for this, so let me go down on my lift and mock it up real quick. All right, first problem I encountered. DC5 Creations told me to use the RSX mount here, but this was also in the EVO 8 chassis, not in the EVO 4 or 5 or 6 chassis. So it doesn't work for here. So what looks like it's gonna work here is the EG style, EG or EK style. So what I'm gonna do is I got an EG here, so let me just pull the K mount out of that, and we'll see how that one fits. But that one fits pretty good. And then judging off how this looks, that's where it's got to be at. This angle from the RSX would push it too much to the back. Not a fan of that. It's not going to work right. So let me try the other mount. I kind of got it. Straight. And EG style EK mount will not work because it'll push the motor back too far. So it's on one bolt here, and it's kind of like the right angle, but I can just, from my eyeball, I have a really good kind of like eye. It almost looks straight, but it still needs to be pushed back a little bit. But just one off the bolt. So I could always hit up Hotsport or somebody and be like, hey, can you guys make it so that this other bolt hole goes to the right of this mount? Kind of like make them like angle it here and then add like a section here. But I also came up with an idea. The RSX one kicks it too far that way, but what if I flip it Now, if I flip it, it angles it to the right to where I want it. So let me try that real quick. All right, so this is what I figured out. RSX mount flip both ways won't work. The EGEK passenger side one fits with one bolt hole. So that's not a big deal. I can make like a thick steel bracket to go across. It'll bolt 1, 2, 3. It'll be like a 3-bolt. Or I can completely redesign this out of steel. No biggie. I just kind of wanted to get it mocked up, but it looks straight. It looks good. The only thing is I got to figure out the height and I got to re-drill this hole. So that hole, you see, the center would be like here. So it's a little off, so I'd have to re-drill it over here, which I might do, or I might hold off to see if there's other mounts that'll work. But for now, I kind of wanted to like, kind of just get it in here and just figure out how everything's gonna sit, where the T case is gonna shoot out. I mean, there's a lot of room up front. A sidewinder would probably work pretty good here. So, you know, because once you move these cables out of the way, it's kind of room like a sidewinder, kind of like, you know, it's kind of tight with the booster like an RSX. But man, it almost seems like this is its home. K-swap the world. So I'm not like a big custom motor mount expert and swap king expert, but I did put a level on there to see the tilt. So like the tilt, so like this part, and I don't want to do it off the valve cover, so I did it off like the valve cover area on the head so that it's centered. And that looks pretty straight there, so I can kind of figure out where I can drill my hole if I want to do it that way. I mean, it's kind of like wedged in there in a way, so it's kind of holding itself. So I might just leave it alone. For instance, what I mean is like, I can like lift this up. Now it's completely off of everything and it's still holding in there because it's kind of like wedged in with the rubber. So it's no biggie. So I don't need to drill the hole yet. I don't want to drill it and regret it in case I find a mount that fits better. But yeah, so this stuff's out of there and the motor's in here. And like I said, it's pretty level, just like half-assing it through like just that real quick. And then my more or less concern is just looking at how everything's gonna fit. So we got plenty of room up here. Crank pulley looks like it's gonna have plenty of room. The accessory should have plenty of room. Like I said, sidewinder would be like an RSX style because it's close to the booster. But let's go up in the air and see how it looks underneath and how it's gonna fit. So like you can see like, you see like the timing area there? So it almost looks like a normal K-swap car where you can get to everything on the side. So I don't know, guys. I'm just playing around with it. Like I said, I pulled out a bunch of random mounts here, just to like look around and see what would work. I mean, what I didn't consider is actually the OEM one, this way upside down, and then just re-drilling these holes bigger. But anyways, we got some type of motor in here to fit. So, all right, here's the moment of truth. Let's see how this T-case and drive shaft is gonna fit. Oh wow, the ground clearance doesn't look that bad. Very surprised. Oh yeah, ground clearance ain't bad at all. Like, look at that. Like, there's the bumper. You can't even see the pan. Look, there's the pan. But, you know, wow. Look at that. Like the little hump there is like almost perfect for where the T-case goes. Guys, I think I might be onto something here. K-swap an EVO 4 through 6 chassis. So while I'm under here, another way to tell like how to mock this up and figure out the angles is looking at this. This is almost straight. So this has to go up just a little bit. So what I would do is either put a jack under here and force it up a little, or use like a pull jack. And then that's how I would make the rear bracket. The rear bracket I'm not too worried about because you can just, you know, custom make that. And I'm not too worried about it. Like I said, I could custom make that rear mount and get it to bolt up. On the EVOs, it's usually through this, here, let me zoom out a little. It's usually through this crossbar that goes across here and then it bolts to here. But I could see like a rear mount being able to bolt from, you know, the stock CRV 3-bolt pattern here to like right here somewhere. So I could technically make like a dog bone mount or something, kind of like the HNSI where it'll just connect to here. It'll be like a dog bone, it'll bolt to here and bolt to there. So I'm not worried about that. Like I said, this can get pushed up a little just up from me eyeballing it. So like push this up a little, that'll become flat. I mean, I could even put like a level on here and see. But this needs to go up a little while I make the rear mount. For now, what I might do is hook up a bolt here, hook up a bolt here, and just pull them together with some heavy-duty wire, like stainless wire, and just bring it closer, just so I can kind of get like a better mock-up of how it's going to sit in the bay and the angle. Like I said, I'm not too worried about the mounts. I have a fabricator that comes and welds out of my shop, so we can figure something out. It's not a big deal. I just kind of wanted to see where this was going to end up, because this is the biggest thing on the EVO 8s and 9s is the T-case. Like, the subframes actually go like this, so you have to like cut it, re-weld it, use a different steering rack. It's a whole nightmare. On the EVO 4 through 6, actually it would be like for the Mirage too, the Mitsubishi Mirages, and the EVO 4 through 6s. Look at that. It's like meant to be. So this is very cool. It makes it not as involved because we don't have to deal with the subframe and the steering rack already. Like, that part's done. So now we just got to get a drive shaft through here and then figure out what we're going to do for a rear end. We're going to try to run the Jaguar X-Type that they're using in the EVO 8 that works. Or we're going to run a wagon diff, a CRV diff. We got to figure that part out. All right, so I got that angle how I wanted it, straight. I put a level on here and I got it straight, and I just used the strap to just tie it up. Just temporary. Like I said, I wanted to pull it back, put it straight. Now I could actually drill that hole up there if I decide to drill it or just put a different mount. And then now I know where the motor wants to sit. And this is the angle that I want here. Obviously, we know this is wrong if it's not flat. If it's like this, it's wrong. If it's that, it's wrong. If it sits flush, straight like that, we know it's right. So that's where this is at. Like I said, I can make a mount off these 3 bolt holes in these 2 right here. I could also make a bar that goes across here, kind of like how the EVO is stock. That mount works great up there, the trans one, and then the passenger one will, the passenger one will get, tweaked for my liking. But now I'm going to start putting an intake manifold and a turbo kit on here. I want to see how that's going to sit. Axle-wise, it looks like it'll be straight. So we should be good. I don't know if you could see the trans hole right there. Let me show you where it's at. Right there where my finger is. Oh, it's hard to see. So that doesn't look too bad. Where the axle is going to go. This axle looks fine too. You see that? So. All right, so I got a little carried away. I started bolting up some accessories. So I got the Skunk 2 Ultra Street, which at the angle fits great. It'll let me, it'll allow me to close the hood and look good. I got a top mount back there. It gets real close to the brake booster, so the top mount, I'll probably just have to cut and re-weld that angle a little sideways, so a top mount will fit good. I'd rather use a top mount than a sidewinder, just in my opinion. Use a top mount, and then what I can do is just go straight out through the exhaust through the hood. I'm a big out the hood or fender exit guy. I don't really care about a full exhaust and all that. I love the exhaust sound. I love the turbo spooling sound. So, yeah, like this mount fits great right there. This one here, like I said, I got one out of the 2 bolt holes. I'm either going to make a bracket here or update that mount. I got it marked where I need to drill it, that little hole. But like I said, it's wedged in there to hold. And I can literally here, let me move this out of the way. And I can close the hood and it fits good. So that's what the hood closed. So something's binding right here that won't let me go all the way. What is it? Oh, it's the hood latch. So yeah, see, let me zoom out because of that hood latch. But you can go all the way down. Like, it's in all the way flush there. It's in all the way flush there. And look, because it's a cutout, I can see, and you guys can see too. Look at that room right there. From there to there, that's a good 6 inches. So look at that beauty. Like I said, guys, it almost looks like it's meant to fit in here. Yeah, but this is awesome, guys. This is awesome. You're gonna pop the hood. All right, stay tuned for the next update where I think the next video would be like trying to mock up something in the rear end. So I got a wagon diff here, and then I also have a CRV diff here. So I'll see which one kind of fits better. I'll try to get that mocked up. I'll give you guys an update on that mount there to figure out what exactly I want to do there. And that'll be like the next video, like kind of just updating on everything. So comment, like, subscribe, guys. Appreciate it.